Namaste students, I am Shobha, Science Faculty from Mangala Vidya Mandira. Today let us move to the next chapter, that is chapter 8, Motion. So this chapter students, it will be just an repetition for you which you have already learnt in your lower classes. So almost all the topics in this chapters would be studied by you in the previous classes. So it is just an revision class for you. The main thing you have to concentrate is on the problems. So let us first understand what do you mean by motion. Motion is a change in the position of an body with time. So if any body or if any object is changing its position, so if it is moving from one place to another place in certain interval of time, then we call them as motion. That object is said to be under motion, whether it may be an object which is at rest, it might go to the movement, or a moving object might come to rest. So in any of these cases it is considered as motion. Motion can be described in terms of distance as well as displacement. So what is distance? It is distance moved is the actual length of the path travelled by a body. So actual distance or actual path along which that body moves or an object moves is called as distance. Displacement is the shortest path travelled by that body from the initial position to its final position. For example, students, if you are moving from Bangalore to Mysore, if you are taking the highways, then that is called as the distance. But if you are having a shortcut to reach Bangalore to Mysore, then the short pathway is called as displacement. Hope you have understood the difference. Let us study the examples, few examples of motion. The card is in motion, the motion of a ball downwards. So all these are some of the examples. The movement of the train, movement of the bus, car, vehicle, a person moving from one place to another place, all considered as examples of motion. So under motion we are having two types, uniform and non-uniform. What is this meaning of uniform motion? If a body travels equal distance in equal interval of time, then it is said to be uniform motion. For example, a body is traveling 150 kilometers in 3 hours. So in each hour, if it is covering 50 kilometer distance, then it is called as uniform motion. Instead of that, if it is covering 100 kilometers in 1 hour, another 50 kilometers in 2 hours, that time it is called as non-uniform motion. So covering an equal distance at equal interval of time is called uniform motion. Covering an unequal distance in equal interval of time, then it is said to be non-uniform motion. So either the distance or time, anything might be in the unequal duration, that constitutes non-uniform motion. So examples, the movement of clock's hand and the movement of the pendulum in the needle of the pendulum is an example of uniform motion. Hope you have understood. The movement of the clock's hand and the movement of the pendulum in the same clock is an example of uniform motion. Similarly, a movement of an asteroid and an bouncing of a ball is an example of non-uniform motion. Both cannot occur in the same distance at the same rate. The next one, let us study about speed, another concept called as speed. Speed of an object or a body is nothing but distance traveled by that object in the given time, that is unit time. In 1 second, how much it has traveled, in 1 hour or 1 day, how much it has traveled. So speed can be calculated using this formula, distance by time taken, where we can represent speed, that is v is equals to s. S is nothing but distance, small t represents time taken. So let us go for this SI unit. How we can write the unit of the speed? Since distance is calculated in meters, substitute S equals to m and time is measured in seconds. So meter per second is the SI unit of speed, and the speed will be called as scalar quantity. What is the scalar quantity, students? Scalar is nothing but anything which depends only on magnitude but not on direction. That is called as scalar quantity. What is the weight, what is the distance it is covered, only we are depending upon its magnitude, but we are not considering its direction, whether it is moving in the north to south, south to north, east to west. The directions we don't consider. So that quantities are called as scalar quantities. One example is speed. Similarly, next examples, the red car is at the speed of 30 kilometers per second and the grey car is at the speed of 40 kilometers, or sorry, more 40 meters per second. So this is how we represent the speed of an object. Now coming to the next one, average speed, another new term. Speed you would have learnt, but what is this average speed? Average speed is nothing but it is a ratio of total distance travelled by an object to the total time taken to travel that. So if the same object is covering a different speed at different interval of time, then we have to take its average. So how to take this averages? You have to take the total distance covered by that object and divide it by the total time taken. So let us do this problem so we can understand better. So they have given a car is traveling at 85 kilometers from point A to B, then 45 kilometers from the point B to C. The total time took was 1.3 hours. What was the average speed of the car? At what speed it would have traveled? That we have to calculate. For that we have to use the formula total distance covered by total time taken. So how to calculate total distance? Just add the two distance covered by the car. 85 kilometers plus 45 kilometers is totally 130 kilometers. So 130 kilometers divided by 1.3 hours. So totally it comes around 100 kilometers per hour. So in 1 hour it has been covered in 100 kilometers. Since here students in question only it has been given in kilometers and hours, we have retained the answer in kilometer and hours only. But if they ask us to convert it into the simplest unit or SI units, you have to convert that kilometers to meters and hours into seconds. Next we will move to velocity. This is also another concept which you would have already studied. So it's again repetition. The velocity of an object or a body is the displacement of the body per unit time. So you already know the distance is different from displacement. So if it is distance per time, then it is called as speed. If it is displacement by time, then it is called as velocity. And the quantity which specifies both the direction of an object and the speed is called as velocity. Since it depends on both magnitude and the direction, students, it is called as vector quantity. Vector, the quantity which depends both on magnitude and the direction. So let us go with some example. So the speed with direction is also known as velocity. Here we can see this car is moving towards the east. The car is moving towards the northwest. Car is moving towards the west or east. So along with the speed, that is the magnitude, we are also measuring its direction. This is called as velocity. So now again, how to calculate average velocity? Average velocity is a ratio of the total displacement by total time taken, as usual, like what we have done in speed, average speed, the same thing. So average velocity is also the mean of the initial velocity and the final velocity. So either you can go for average velocity is equals to total displacement by total time taken, or you can go for initial velocity and final velocity, the sum together divided by 2, that is average. That is, initial velocity is represented by u and final velocity is represented by v. So u plus v by 2, since we are taking its average, it is 2. Initial velocity means, students, if you consider a car is at rest, what is its initial velocity? 0. When it starts moving, it changes its velocity, that is speed. Then you say that it is 3 meters per second. Then you have to write it as u 0 plus 3. Then it will give you average velocity 3 by 2. So when you calculate the SI unit is almost the same, since displacement is also calculated in meters, time in seconds. So it is also having the unit as meter per second. So speed and velocity both are having the same SI unit. So let us calculate this problem to understand more about the average velocity. If a car changes its speed from 10 meter per second to 20 meter per second in just 5 seconds, what is the average velocity of the car? So take its speed was 10 meter per second, means its initial velocity is 10 meter per second and its final velocity is 20 meter per second and time taken is 5 seconds. So what you have to do? U plus v by 2, that is average velocity is totally given as u plus v by 2. So 20 plus 10 divided by 2, that is 30 divided by 2, that is 15 meter per second. Here no need to use this time, but if you are using the total distance, then that is total speed divided by total time, that time you have to require time. Now the next one is acceleration, accelerate, increase. So change the speed. So when you accelerate the body means you will change the speed of the body, that is the meaning of accelerate. The quantity which specifies changes in velocity is called acceleration. So if a body is moving at 10 kilometers per hour, suddenly if it raises its speed to 550 kilometers per hour, then the body is said to be accelerated, speeded up. Hence we can derive this acceleration as the rate of change of velocity. If the velocity changes, then it is called as acceleration. As I said, you students, imagine a car is traveling at 10 kilometers per hour, suddenly it changes its speed to 20 kilometers per hour, then its initial velocity is different from final velocity. If you take its difference, you will get this acceleration. So acceleration is nothing but final velocity minus initial velocity by 2. So what is final velocity? Represented as v, and initial velocity u, whole thing divided by 2, and acceleration is represented by small a. So a equals to v minus u by 2 is a unit of acceleration. Similarly, acceleration also the having same SI unit, because speed is measured in meters and time is measured in seconds, that is meter per second square. Since we are taking two things, one is initial and final velocity, then we are having that acceleration as meter per second square. So examples of acceleration. In the first case, the car is moving in the constant direction, increases the speed, like it was earlier 60 meters per hour, now it has moved to 30. Similarly, it was car which was at 30, it has moved to 60. Similarly, it changes its direction and also changes the speed. So these are the four different ways where they can accelerate. Either can increase the speed or decrease the speed, or change the moving this constant speed, or change the direction. These are the four examples of acceleration. Now all these things whatever still now we have studied, it was the basics, so where we would have learnt in the previous classes also, but the same thing we have to represent it in the graph. This is the new part learning which we have to learn in this chapter. So we know distance by time is called as speed, but we have to plot it in a graph sheet. So where we can consider if it is a straight line, then it is an uniform speed or a constant speed. If it is irregular, then it is a non-uniform speed. So we have to mention the motion whatever we theoretically we have studied still now, that is about speed, velocity and acceleration. Same thing we can use the graph sheet and plot it out. Motion can be represented on the distance time graph, first type of graph. In the graph, the distance is taken along y-axis and the time is taken along x-axis. This distance time graph for uniform speed is straight line. If equal distance is covered at equal interval of time, then you will get a straight line in the graph. This is because in uniform speed a body travels equal distance and equal interval of time. So this is how you plot the distance time graph. Similarly, you can go for displacement and time graph, and also you can go for velocity time graph. Displacement time graph gives you the velocity. When you plot velocity versus time, that gives you the acceleration graph. Now we have to derive three important formulas in order to calculate many different examples of motion. Very important. So for this purpose, let us take a body which is moving with an initial velocity u. We have to consider there was one body which is moving with the initial velocity u, and it's having a uniform acceleration as a, and its final velocity becomes v, and it is traveling at a time equal to t seconds. In the meantime, it covers a distance s. So remember students, it is having initial velocity u, final velocity v, time taken is t, acceleration is a, and distance covered is represented as s. And also we remember that acceleration SI unit is meter per second square and velocity unit is meter per second. Time is measured in seconds and distance is measured in meters. So all this are the considered. We all know this. So let us derive the first equation of motion. For that, we have to consider acceleration formula. What is acceleration formula? Final velocity minus initial velocity by t. So what is final velocity represented as v? Initial velocity u, time taken t. So a equals to v minus u by t. Cross multiply, bring the t to the left hand side. At equals to v minus u, or you shuffle the things, v equals to u plus at. This is an first equation of motion, very important, where you have to use these formulas for solving the problems. So next, students, in the textbook it is very depth, in a very detailed way it has been given. So for your better understanding, I have reduced the steps and I have taken the simple steps and I have explained. So next we'll go for the average velocity, second law of motion. How to derive the second equation of motion? For that we will consider average velocity. As we have already discussed, the formula to calculate average velocity is initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. So distance travelled is also given by average velocity into time. It is not plus, students, it is multiplied by time. So distance travelled is equals to s equals to, what is average velocity formula? V plus u by 2 into time is taken as t. So now we have to substitute v. Already according to the first equation motion, we have considered v equals to u plus at. Substitute that in place of v. So s equals to u plus at plus u, whole thing divided by t, 2 into t. So u plus u, it is 2u plus at divided by 2. So then you take t inside, multiply t inside, so you will get 2ut plus at square whole thing divided by 2. So later on we have cancelled that 2 goes with 2, numeric 2 goes with numeric 2. So s equals to ut plus half at square. So we have taken the 2 inside so that it could have become 2 by 2, 2 cancelled, and it is 1 by 2. Hope you have understood the second equation of motion, students. Now let us move to the derivation of third equation of motion. So for this also we have already taken the known formula v equals to u plus at, that is first equation of motion. Later on what we have done is we have taken u to the same side. So the plus u, positive u becomes negative v minus u equals to at, and v minus u whole divided by a, they bring the a to the denominator, so equals to t. Put t equals to v minus u by a in equation s equals to ut plus half at square. Hope you have understood. Means you take that second equation of motion. In that equation you substitute t value. After you substitute t value, take the u inside, multiply, take the common terms outside, divide them, you will get the last equation as 2as equals to v square minus u square. So this is your third equation of motion. Students, if at all if you have not anyone understood any steps here in the interaction class, I'll be solving you this problem once again. Let us move to the last topic in this chapter, that is circular motion. So what do you mean by circular motion? A motion of a body in a circular path is called as circular motion. Again there are two types, uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion, if a body moves in a circular path with uniform speed, its motion is called as uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion is accelerated motion because in a circular motion of a body continuously changes its direction. So as you can see in the picture, continuously the body which is moving in a circular path, continuously it has to change its direction. So the circumference of a circle of a radius r is given by 2 pi r. So if a body takes t time to go once round the circular path, then its velocity is given to be 2 pi r divided by 2, or you can substitute as t. This is an equation to calculate the velocity of circular motion, students. Hope you have understood this chapter. So based on this chapter, these are the two activities which you have to do. The first activities goes like this. So all the numerical problems must be done in the project book in graph sheet. Using graph sheets, all the problems should be done in the project books. So the notes will be given for this. So you have to work it out. The second important thing is you have to list out the examples of uniform circular motion in your day-to-day life, or practically where does this type of uniform circular motion happens. So at least with 5 examples you have to make a note. All this to be done in the project book, students, and you have to submit. Thank you.